Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. You can see my guys getting their breakfast this morning. Breakfast of champions. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a demonstration plan that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and today we're going to do it, so let's go downstairs and get it done. Okay, this video is actually a long time coming, but the reason we're doing it today is because the other day I come home and I find this in the mail. This beautiful Craftsman. It's one of their new models. It's a 20-ounce hammer, and it's Craftsman made this just this year, as a matter of fact. And the reason it was sent to me by Mark, and you remember Mark, who we did the Billings wrench for, and Mark has been a friend of the show, and we've been conversing for a long time, and yeah, so Mark sent this. I said, wow, that was really nice, and so I said, you know what, let's do this. I've been putting this off for a long time. I just spent the last 40 minutes bringing hammers down from the attic downstairs, so let's get started. Now, when I was a kid, sometimes my dad would say, if I was bored, didn't know what to do with myself, he'd get together an old tin can or coffee can full of nails, the old nails we had. Some were rusty and bent, but he'd get those nails together, get a hammer and get a 2x4 and go out in the backyard. Sometimes he'd put it between two sawhorses. He'd say, all right, knock yourself out. I want you to put all these nails into the 2x4. And I would go at it. Afterwards, he would tell me, okay, take all the nails out and straighten them out. Now, I guess that's where my fascination with hammers began. And these were the first two hammers that I actually bought myself that weren't hand-me-downs. This I bought was a Craftsman Professional, because they called it Professional, nice hickory handle. And this was another Craftsman, and this one had a fiberglass handle, and you could see the use on there through the years. I started collecting hammers, I guess, when I was in my, maybe 20 years old, and you buy 2 or 3 a year, and, times that by 30 years, and you wind up with a bunch of hammers. Now, when I first started off, a hammer was a regular hammer, but as you start getting older and realizing that there's a hammer for every single job that you can do. There's soft blow, there's carpenter hammers, there's claw hammers, there's machinist hammers. So today we're just going to talk about some of the claw hammer collection I have. And you have your curved claw like this, which has a standard curve like this. You have your straight claw like that. You have your California framers, which were made popular because of the size and shape out in California. You have a longer handle hammers. This one here is a Gravic, which is kind of an made by Vaughan, but an offshoot. And then you have your imports that use a design, like this is a heart design, and they do that to copy different style hammers. But when you're looking at whatever hammer you're going to collect, it can really get diverse. But there's wood and steel handles. Now, obviously, a steel handle is great if you're going to be doing any kind of ripping or clawing or any kind of construction or demolition. However, if you're going to be driving nails all day, you want a wood handle, especially hickory. American hickory is fantastic for that. They came out with the fiberglass to try and go an in-between between the wood and the steel, so it wouldn't hurt your elbows so much, because the vibration that's sent through steel is really hard on your arm. And they just started coming out with they've been reinventing the hammer for 100 years. Now, since manufacturer has been trying to reinvent the hammer for so many years, a lot of times they'll take different features from other hammers and things like that. But a lot of times they've been working with, you can see these are all steel handles. This is an S-wing, and it has a lot of the features that the other ones have, but it's supposed to have a shock reduction. But, these steel hammers, no matter what you do to them, it's very difficult to get the shock reduction down. Here's an old Ted hammer. This is a triangular shaped hammer, and it has the nail. You put the nail on the side to start it. This is an unusual hammer. You don't see too many of these. Here's an early one that had the nail set. And what these are, you put the nail in there. If you can't reach an area or you want to start the nail, you could drop the nail in one of these magnetic slots and bang it in once, and then you could hammer it in. You could see the casting on this hammer. It has a fiberglass handle. This is a vintage one. Here's a nice Stanley Fat Max that had really nice lines. Again, a 12-ounce hammer. I like the smaller ones for some of the work I do. Here's a Craftsman. I did a video on this one. Craftsman with has the pry the claw that is adjustable in different ways. So nice little hammer, and it has a triangular grip, which is pretty interesting. And here's something you don't see too often. Here's an Estwing fiberglass, and you can see it's got the shock reduction, and nice little hammer. Now again, here's some more. Remember, when you're trying to compete and make a new hammer, you have to do something to get people to buy it, and it don't take much for somebody like me, but I like different hammers. I like unusual ones. This one here, years ago they were all over the place, but they've become highly collectible, and you could see here how this operates. By pushing this down, you could see you could rotate the head. I have no idea how this would really make this I mean, they go for a lot of money. I don't understand it, but it's an unusual hammer with that swivel head on it, you see, and it locks into place, and I don't know, but it is unusual, so I had to have it. You know, you got the shock shield again. Anytime you have people realize once they buy a steel hammer that they're going to get a lot of shock in it, so they're always coming up with some kind of shock resistant, swearing that it's shock resistant. That's Stanley came out here with a graphite, and you can see now what percentage is graphite or what it does. I don't know, but this has a little little thumb depression here, which is pretty nice. You know, I like this hammer. Again, I like all hammers. Here's the Vaughan. Now, Vaughan makes fantastic hammers made in the United States. This was Vaughan's answer to the Estwing hammers. You know, it's steel. See how they put the blue in here like they used to years ago? And nice looking hammer. Made in the United States. Nice handle. Really nice hammer. Milwaukee came out with here. And again, I wouldn't use something like this for, you know, prying or demolition, because these handles, they're just, the way they're set in here, they're just not going to hold up. But it's a very lightweight handle. It says most durable fiberglass handle. I don't know what they're comparing it to. Here's another Vaughan. This one here, a little specialty hammer, has a straight claw, a little different design, a wider head. A wider head is nice, especially if you don't do this for a living. You want the bigger head because less missing of the nail. Fiskars. Fiskars always makes me laugh because everything they come out with is a gimmick, you know, and that whole place is gimmick. This has got this kind of spongy, unusual grip, if you feel it, and it says 4 times less shock. Then what? You know, 4 times then what? But it's got the little plastic insert and total gimmick. Here, I bought this years ago, and me and my buddy, we went and I brought a can of nails to work, and we were driving. I brought this and a hickory handled hammer to work. And we spent about a half an hour driving into pallet wood, you know, strong nails into pallet wood to see if this was really, you know, and sure enough, we both chose the hickory at the end. This thing, but it is unusual, huh? These Estwings, I got 2 of these. I got a 16 and this is the 21 ounce. And that's pretty unusual. Okay, by the late 90s, I started having some nice hammer collection, but then I started getting a little bit better. Now you're going to see some of my favorites. About late 90s, Mark Martinez, who was a carpenter by trade, but he also invented these titanium stiletto hammers. This revolutionized the industry for a while. And if you've never used a titanium hammer, first of all, it feels super light, you know, so you say, I don't understand, it's so light. But because it's so light, you can get a bigger head. And the way this handle is, I love this kind of an axe handle, because, you know, I always choke up a little bit, so this is right in the right spot for me. And to drive a nail with this, like if you're doing any kind of work, it is just a delightful. These are such nice hammers. Now, this is a 10 ounce, obviously this is a 12 ounce, and a little bigger head, but super light. And then the big one, the 14 ounce, I got is a framing. Now, I got with the waffled head on that. Normally, I don't like a waffled head because most of the work I do, you know, is for small scale building and stuff, but the waffled head is nice because it doesn't slip off the head of the nail, but it's bad because these do get mashed down after a while, and if you're a collector, you don't want to see a mashed down head. Stiletto, great hammer. Okay, now we're starting to get into what they call big boy toys, or stupidly priced hammers, you know? But, again, you know, now you get to the point where I'm not collecting 3 or 4 hammers a year, maybe 1 a year, so I'll go for the little better hammer. Anyway, Here's a Vaughan off a Douglas design, and we'll talk about Douglas later. As like I said, we're getting into the more favorite hammers of mine. And this is a titanium. And you can see the design here with the handle. For years, they're always trying to come up with a way to replace the handles easily and make them, because, you know, hanging a hammerhead on a handle takes a long time unless you have something like this. So this is a nice little hammer, again, a Douglas design. Martinez left Stiletto, sold it to Milwaukee, started making hammers on his own. And he has some interesting hammers. He has a steel head because a lot of guys went back to steel because titanium isn't as durable. But this one here, he makes these hammers. And what's interesting about this hammer is there's a bolt that goes, you see this little here? That's a little piece of steel like this with a threaded hole in it. And this bolt locks into that and pulls the hammer down. So if it ever loosens up or anything, you could just take a hex wrench, tighten it up, and it just keeps itself down. So very interesting hammer. And it also has, he's developed this grip on here that's very nice and easily replaceable. Another Martinez hammer. He started, this is an M4. It has a titanium frame, but it has a steel face. So it has the best of both worlds. It's got the lightweight here, but the heavy head. And you can replace, anytime you have to, you just take that nut off and you can replace the head or put different size heads on there. And the handles too. You could pop the handle off and put a new handle on. Very interesting. Very expensive too. Those things run about $200 and something. So crazy as it sounds. Estwing tried to get into the market of the, the gimmick market or whatever. They came out with this hammer. You can see here, it says lighter than titanium. We know aluminum is lighter than titanium. The problem is it's not cool like titanium, Anyway, you can see here, it's got the replaceable face here that you can replace the face. It's got a replaceable claw, and it's got their shock resistant grip. Pretty interesting hammer. Got a big face on it. I didn't get much use on this. In fact, I didn't use this at all. Usually I try the hammer out for a little while. I didn't get a chance to try this one, but pretty cool looking hammer, right? And let's get to the okay, now we're getting to my all-time favorite hammers. Now, this one here I just threw in. I don't know if you realize Estwing did make a regular hammer. We're so used to seeing the roll steel hammers, but they did make regular hammers with wooden handles, hickory handles. Okay, my all-time favorite hammer used to be this great little 10-ounce Craftsman that I used to use, and I was always worried about losing this thing. I said, man, I can't find another, they're hard to find and stuff. And then I found out who made it for Craftsman, and it was Vaughan. Whenever you see a box like this coming, you know there's going to be a cool hammer in it. And there it is. Vaughan makes that hammer for Craftsman. And actually the Vaughan one is nicer looking hammer with the blue, how they see how the color, see the difference when they add color to a tool, how it offsets it, whatever color. I mean, they went the extra mile, and really nice hammer, 10-ounce. And this is you need to get one of these Vaughan 10-ounce claw. Now, I have to warn you, you might want to cover your screen or your keyboard with some cellophane, because the drool factor on these next 4 hammers might ruin your computer. You've been warned. Okay, we're almost up to my favorite, but look at these Douglas hammers. Now, I've been collecting for so many years. Douglas was a regular manufacturer. He made these hammers, and look at the job. Now, here is a manufacturer. Now, this is only about 15 years ago or something like that, and look at how he made these hammers. Here you can see it's a 15-ounce head, and you can see how he had an innovative handle design that went over there. And just look at this. Look at these hammers, huh? Here is an 18-ounce. Now, here's the cool part. When I bought these, they were like $30, $35. You can buy them directly from Douglas. And, nowadays, these things are going for crazy money, especially if they're unused, But look at how he spent the time and polished. And this is what a manufacturer... and carpenters like scream for these things. But you want to see something really cool? Check this out. This is Douglas. Douglas did this himself from the factory, 18-inch. Look at that. With the red. This is him. He knows. I mean, this guy was a genius, Douglas. So that's a hammer. That is a hammer. These things are just beautiful. I mean, what can I say? Douglas hammers are just, you know, now they sold it to DALLUGE or whatever, and they're not the same, you know. You could see the care, the extra time this guy put into his stuff. Unbelievable. So in closing, there's some of the nice hammers I have. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is one of my favorites. This crazy hammer, look at that. It's got, it was like a clear amber. I've never seen these before or after. And it's not that old, you know, maybe 10 years old, 15 years old, but I just love this hammer. I don't know why. It's such a, you know, I guess from the 60s. I like that clear amber, you know. Anyway, this is one of my favorites, if not my favorite, for some strange reason. And it's 1/10 of what some of them other ones cost. So I want to thank Mark again for not only the hammer, but for for making this video possible. And thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.